Have you ever just sat back and dreamed about living off your investments? Pulling in a cool $5,000 every single month without lifting a finger? Well, today we're going to figure out the exact number you need to make that dream a reality, and we're going to do it using one of the most popular investments on the entire planet. Let's dive in. So this is it, right? This is the big question. It's the number that could literally mean financial freedom. And we're not talking about some vague guess here. We are going to break down the actual math to find the real target number you need to hit. All right, so our vehicle for this journey is going to be VOO, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. The easiest way to think about it is you're buying a tiny little slice of 500 of America's biggest, most successful companies, all in one simple purchase. It's so popular for two huge reasons. One, it's super diversified, and two, the expense ratio is just a tiny 0.03%. That means your money is working for you, not getting eaten up by fees. Okay, so before we figure out how much we need, we've got to get crystal clear on what we're actually aiming for. Let's lock in that $5,000 a month dream. And there it is, $5,000 a month. That adds up to $60,000 a year. This is the income we want our portfolio to spit out for us year after year like clockwork. Now that the goal is set, there are a couple of different paths we can take to get there. First up, we're going to explore what seems like the simplest, most straightforward path, living purely off the dividends. But as you're about to see, this path, it's a bit of a steep mountain climb. So VOO does pay out dividends, which is awesome. It's like a little cash bonus you get just for being an owner. But, and this is a big but, the current yield is only about 1.2%. And here's the catch with that. If you're only planning on spending that tiny percentage, you are going to need a massive pile of cash to start with. Okay, so let's run the numbers. To generate our $60,000 a year goal from just a 1.2% dividend yield, how much capital do you think you'd need? Go on, take a guess in your head. You ready for this? You would need over $5 million. Yeah, 5.17 million to be exact. For most of us, that is not just a mountain, that's Mount Everest. And look, this strategy is super safe because you never touch your original shares, but it requires a nest egg that is just completely out of reach for almost everybody. But don't get discouraged, because that is not the only way. Not even close. There's a much, much smarter and more realistic approach. Let's talk about Path 2, a time-tested strategy that you've probably heard of called the 4% rule. Now this slide right here, this is the aha moment. Just look at the insane difference. To get that exact same $60,000 a year, the 4% rule requires $1.5 million, not over $5 million. And that's because you're using both the dividends and selling a small calculated portion of your shares for income. It's a total game changer. And the math here is just beautifully simple. You just take your desired annual income, for us that's $60,000, and you multiply it by 25. Boom. That gives you your target number, $1.5 million. It's such a straightforward calculation, and it puts a much, much more achievable goal right in front of you. Okay, but wait a second. This is the number one question people ask, and it's a really good one. If you're selling off pieces of your investment every year, isn't it just a matter of time before you have nothing left? Well, believe it or not, the answer is no. And here's the magic behind why. This chart right here shows you the engine that makes the 4% rule work. See, historically, the S&P 500 has a total return of about 10% per year on average. So when you withdraw your 4% to pay your bills, you still leave 6% in the portfolio. That remaining 6% is more than enough to replace what you took out and to keep growing your nest egg over time, even with all the market's ups and downs. So why is it 4%? I mean, why not 5% so you can retire even earlier? Or maybe 3% just to be extra, extra safe? Let's take a quick look at why 4% is so widely considered the sweet spot. This chart lays it all out perfectly. If you want to be more conservative and only take out 3%, you'd need $2 million. If you want to be more aggressive and pull 5%, you'd only need $1.2 million. But you're definitely increasing the risk of running out of money down the line. As you can see, that 4% rule really hits the perfect balance. So at the end of the day, a $1.5 million portfolio combined with the 4% rule is this popular, time-tested compromise. It gives you a really high degree of confidence that your money's going to last for at least 30 years without forcing you to save a completely unrealistic amount of money. It's that sweet spot between safety and actually being able to get there. Now, knowing the number is one thing, but actually getting there is a whole other ballgame.
So let's wrap this all up with a simple 3-step game plan to put you on the right path to that $1.5 million goal.
Okay, first, while you're in that saving phase, make sure you reinvest every single dividend. This unleashes the power of compounding and it will get you to your goal so much faster. Second, and this one is crucial, stay the course. Markets are going to go up, they're going to go down. Panic selling is your worst enemy. Long-term consistency is what builds real wealth. And finally, as you start getting closer to retirement, just take a look at your plan. Make sure that $5,000 a month still fits your life and be ready to adjust if you need to.
So there you have it, the path to $5,000 a month in passive income, all grounded in a strategy that's been used by retirees for decades. So the big question for you to think about is, does the 4% rule feel like a solid plan for your future, or does it still feel a little too risky? What's your take on this? Share your opinion in the comment section. Thank you for watching WealthPrint.